Roofers, are you tired of using a bunch of selling tools that don't talk to each other? Streamline your selling process with GAF Project. Manage leads, measurements, presentations, estimates, even payments, right on your iPad. Visit gaf.com/project.
One in 4 women and 1 in 6 men are survivors of sexual abuse or assault. That means you or someone you know has survived an external and internal battle for your soul, which most often no one else will ever see, unless you tell your story. This is Journey On, Survivors Healing from Sexual Abuse and Assault. My name is DJ Burr, and I'm a survivor. I was molested at 16 years old and raped at 18. I didn't know what surviving looked like back then, but I do now. Join me as I talk with survivors and hear their experience, strength, and hope on the road to recovery. Hear our stories and share your own. You are not alone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Journey On. I'm DJ Burr and I'm your host. I want to talk about something really important to me, and that's the Me Too movement. In October of 2016, the Me Too movement took the world by storm and is still impacting every man, woman, and child on this planet. And I'm forever grateful that the Me Too movement is reaching everyone at this moment. And I think we have to continue to have these conversations about sexual abuse and assault. And sometimes they start with the words "me too." And essentially what that means is, like, you can empathize with another person who has experienced such horrendous acts of violence against them because you might have had a similar experience. And saying "me too" connects you with another person who is suffering or who has suffered, and it just creates a stronger community. And Me Too is important to me because, as you know, I'm a survivor, and I do this work because I want to support other survivors. And I want to talk about what my experience has been since October of 2017, and that was just, a few weeks back. The conversation started with Harvey Weinstein, and then it went to Kevin Spacey, and I was upset about Harvey Weinstein, but I wasn't really connected to him as, someone in Hollywood I looked up to. But Kevin Spacey, he was an idol of mine. And I say it in past tense because I've had to rethink everything. I idolized Kevin Spacey, and I appreciated his work, his craft. I appreciated who he was in Hollywood. And me, being a gay man, I knew Kevin Spacey was gay probably before Kevin Spacey knew he was gay. But for him to come out and say that he was gay on top of the scandal and the accusations that he had assaulted a teenager back in the 80s was just, in my opinion, disgusting. I was upset, I was angry, I was sad. In fact, I was so upset that I halted production on Journey On. I had no energy because after the first report came out about Kevin Spacey, there was more. There were more survivors coming forward and saying "me too." And then, other celebrities came forward and shared their experience, strength, and hope about being sexual abuse survivors or assault survivors. And I just got overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed. When I'm producing Journey On, people reach out to me and say, I want to share my story, and I get to have conversations with them and to see if they're going to be a good fit for the show. And it's a gradual process. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel overwhelming. And I just can take my time with putting those shows together and bringing them to you. And when it was all happening in Hollywood, in my news feed and on my Twitter feed and all of my social media feeds, I was just inundated. I had to take several breaks from social media. People were writing me, asking me to write a blog post about it, to talk on, another podcast about it. I was asked to do a Me Too public service announcement. And some of those things I was able to do, and some I just weren't. I just wasn't able. I just couldn't do it. I think I was really impacted by Kevin Spacey. I was really impacted by Brett Ratner and the accusations against him. Because, I've always had this dream of working in Hollywood and being a writer and writing for TV and movies. And here were some idols that I had. And, I had to really take a look at the fact that I had put them on a pedestal. And the truth is, they're perfectly imperfect human beings just like I am. So one, they should have never been on the pedestal. And two, they need to own their shit and get help. All of them. And my hope is that they will get the help that they need so they can take care of themselves and so they do not harm other people. And my hope is that they will also take some responsibility for what they have done to other people and help those people heal. And I think the first thing that they have to do is to own it and to come forward and say that they had done these things to harm these innocent people. And I know that so many more conversations are going to be had about Me Too and Kevin Spacey and Brett Ratner and everybody. And I think they have to happen. They have to happen, and I have to continue to do my part in offering the space for people to come forward and share their experience, strength, and hope when I can. I've had to take a step back and look at all the things that I'm doing in my life, so to make sure I don't become overwhelmed by the compassion and the empathy that I am giving out to survivors, because I don't want to burn out, right? As many of you know, I'm a therapist, and so I have to hold space for my clients, and then I have to hold space for my friends who are survivors, and I have to hold space for my folks in recovery who are survivors. But most importantly, I have to hold space for me, and I have to continue to look at that and make sure I'm available to provide support to those who are in need. So I've made some decisions. I'm taking a break from podcasting for a bit. I don't think that means forever. I just think it means for a bit. And I intend to spend more time with my family. My partner and I will be becoming foster parents real soon. It could happen any day now. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to show up for my kid and my partner and my friends and for my life. And I just want my listeners to know that I am still here and I am still listening. And I understand that you probably have been impacted too by what's happening in our society right now, especially around the Me Too. And I want to encourage you to take care of yourselves first. It doesn't mean that you are checking out of life. It doesn't mean that you can't be available for other people. It just means that you have to make sure that you're number one. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how in the hell are you going to take care of somebody else? It's just not going to happen. And if it does and you're not taking care of yourself, you're probably going to make mistakes. You're going to say or do things that are hurtful or harmful. And I know that you don't want to do that. My hope is that everyone is getting the care that they need around these topics of sexual abuse and assault. They're heavy fucking topics. They're heavy. I mean, absolutely heavy. And we shouldn't have to carry it alone. So ask for the support that you need. Seek therapy if that's something that you buy into, and get the support that you need from family and friends if they're available. That's what I intend to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. It's so important to make sure we're taking care of ourselves first. So to all of my listeners, whether you're new or you've been around for a while, take care of yourselves. right? You are important, and you deserve the best care that you could ever receive. What has happened to you has not been your fault. And if you are struggling to accept yourself, I encourage you to ask for help. And I have to just, I have to own how I'm feeling right now. And I feel a lot of sadness. I feel some grief. But I think I also have room for joy. And joy is just as important to feel as sadness and grief. And so I leave you in 2017 having mixed emotions. But I'm grateful I can actually feel my emotions, because there was a time before my recovery when I couldn't feel a thing at all. So, if you understand me and where I'm coming from, do the best that you can to take care of yourself. And you can always reach me on my social media. I'll be around. I may not be on social media as much as I used to be, but just know that I'm taking care of myself and my family. And you'll be in my thoughts. So thank you for joining Journey On for seasons 1 and 2. And my hope is to be back here sometime in 2018 and bring you more stories of men and women who are surviving after sexual abuse and assault. We all deserve an opportunity to journey on. Take care. I love you. Thank you for joining me for this awe-inspiring episode of Journey On. I invite you to get in touch with me if you want to share your story. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter at DJBurr1022 and on Instagram at TheDJBurr. Survivors are also welcome to join our private Facebook group, Journey On Survivors, at www.facebook.com/groups/JourneyOnSurvivors. And finally, the opinions expressed here are strictly those of the person sharing them. Take what you like and leave the rest. I encourage survivors to share their stories authentically, and I believe every guest on my show has. I value the strength and courage it takes to publicly share our recovery journeys. Please respect yourselves and each other. Till next time, breathe deep and journey on.
You've worked so hard for all the things you have. The salary, the status, the success. And with that image, there's a drink. One to unwind, one to loosen up, one to take the edge off. But how do you know when a drink is more than just a drink? We get it. We can help. Karen's Grandview program has been helping accomplished people just like you regain their lives. Talk to us. Visit karen.org/Grandview.
Regina King for Cadillac Escalade.
Let's say you make it to the top. What's next? Relish in the glory of your accomplishments? Okay, sure, for a minute. But then you move forward. Take the 2021 Escalade. Cadillac's newest arrival is more than just a celebration of iconic luxury. It's the most technologically advanced Escalade ever. Because arriving is just the beginning.
The 2021 Cadillac Escalade. Never stop arriving.